now there's some notes that I want you to take for a translation. So go on and put translation and what we're going to do. Okay, let me go on and draw this on the board, and I'll give you some of the notes for a translation. Okay, J would be -1, 1, 2, 3. This will be J. K will be -1, -1, -1. So this will be K. L will be -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and -1. L. And then M is going to be -4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's go on and connect all those. Okay. There we go. That's our quadrilateral. Now, when we're doing a translation, let me go and put M here. When we're doing a translation, remember we're taking this object and we are sliding it. Okay? Now, the first thing you need to remember and write down in your notes about translations is this. That it doesn't have to be in a different quadrant. Doesn't have to be, okay? It can slide anywhere. Slides anywhere, even across the quadrants. It could be in quadrant 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't really matter. It's just we're just going to slide it. So this is the first thing that I want you to write down. Okay? It could be in a quadrant all by itself or just next to it, depending on how far it slides. Okay? Now, the second thing I want you to write down is that you're going to graph each point by choosing the letter to start with. By choosing a letter to start with. And you're going to graph each point. Okay, now I'll explain exactly what that means. Okay, but go on and write that down. Hopefully you got it. Okay, so what they're telling me to do is they want me to translate quadrilateral JKLM 6 units to the right. Okay, so let me write that down. 6 units to the right. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Yeah, 6 units to the right, and they're wanting me to go 2 units down. So 6 units to the right and 2 units down. Let me just put a D for down. Okay? So 6 units to the right and 2 units down. Now what you're going to do is that you're going to graph each point by choosing a letter to start. Okay? It doesn't have to have a center of origin or anything like that. These are probably the easiest ones. Translations are. So let's start with J. Okay? Since this is the first in the alphabet, JKLM. Okay? And where is J found? J is found on -1 and then +1, 2, 3. So it's -1, 3. If I move this dot 6 units to the right and 2 units down, then let's do that, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right and 2 down. 1, 2. I'm just going to place a dot right where that is and put J prime. Okay, that's the start of my second quadrilateral. Okay, so that one's done. Now let's do K. We're going to go 6 units to the right and 2 units down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 units down. 1, 2. That is K prime. Now let's do L. 6 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 units down. 1, 2. That is L prime. And then lastly, M. 6 units to the right and 2 units down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 units down. 1, 2. That is M prime. Now, all we do is connect all our dots. And as you can see, it looks exactly the same. Okay? They're still congruent, okay, but it has slid 6 units over to the right and 2 units down. And there you have it. That's how you do translations, okay? And as you can see, this M or J prime, K prime, L prime, and M prime is actually in two different quadrants. It is in 1 and 4. Okay, this one it started out was in 2 and 3, so it doesn't have to be in different quadrants. It just has to slide however many places it says. Okay, so that one's the easiest, I believe, and those are called translations or sliding. Okay, we're going to erase that one. I'm not going to do another one of those. I think those are pretty self-explanatory. Okay, and the last one we're going to learn about is rotation. Okay, or turning it. All right, now. Rotation is kind of like reflection in the sense that it has to have a center of axis, a center of origin. So I want you to write down these notes for a rotation, okay? Okay, the very first step, let me write rotations actually right up here. Okay, and I want you to take notes real well on this rotations. Okay, the first step you're going to take with rotations is you're going to see which letter, A, B, C, D, whatever you're doing, will be rotating. Which letter of the vertex, let me write that down, vertex, will be rotating. Okay? And how you determine that is which vertex is closest to the center of origin. Okay, now I'm going to show you what this means in just a minute, but just take these notes, okay? Go on and write that down. Which vertex is closest to the center of origin? That's going to tell us which vertex or which letter will be doing the rotating. All right? Now, step 2 on this one is that you're going to go on and set up your origin, set up your center of origin. Now, we're going to do this together. You're just taking notes right now. I'm going to explain exactly what all these mean in just a minute. Step 3. See how much of an angle it's wanting you to turn. 90 degrees, counterclockwise, wanting you to turn. So for example, 90 degrees clockwise, and so forth. Okay? And then lastly, you need to remember that it always switches quadrants. Okay? Just like the one we were doing earlier for reflections, it always switched over to the different quadrants. Same thing with rotations. They always switch quadrant. Okay? With each, this is important, each 90-degree turn. Whether it's counterclockwise or clockwise. Okay? I want to write all that down and it'll all make sense in just a minute. Hopefully you're writing it all down. Alright. Hopefully that's been enough time. Alright. Now, I'm going to draw my first triangle on here. Okay? And it is going to be, let's do A. Let me get this pen actually. A, B, and C. Okay, and this is going to be a triangle. Okay, A is going to be -2, 4. B is going to be -2, 1. And C is going to be -4, 1. Alright, now, y'all help me graph this onto your graphing paper. So let's go -2, 1, 2, and up 4 for A. See, that's A, -2, 4. So -1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's A. Let's graph B. B is going to be -2, 1. So let's do it. -2, 1, 2, and up 1. And then C is going to be -4, 1. So let's do it. -1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1. Okay, I'm going to go in and draw that triangle. Is that not very pretty? There we go. Okay. Now, that's triangle ABC. Now, what they are wanting us to do is they are wanting us to rotate this triangle 180 degrees. They're wanting us to do this 180 degrees clockwise. Now, let's go back to our notes. Okay, they're wanting us to turn this 180 degrees clockwise. The first thing you need to do is to see which letter or vertex will be rotating, and it's the one that's closest to the center of origin. Okay, which of these is closest to my center of origin? Here's my center of origin. Which one is closest? Hopefully you know that it is B. Okay, and you are exactly right. So we need to, step 2, go on and set up our center of origin. Alright, and remember how to do that is, right now B is 1, 2, negative 2, 1. Over here we're going to go 1, 2, 1. Okay, let's go on and set it all the way around. Alright, and then it would be 1, 2, negative 1, and then 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 1. Okay, so we went all the way around from the center of origin 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Okay, so everything is, whether it's positive or negative, that's always 2 over and up 1 or 2 over and down 1. 2 over, down 1, 2 over, up 1. Okay, so the whole center of origin is 2 over and up 1 from this center. Alright, so now once we've set up our center of origin, we have to see how much of an angle it's wanting you to turn. And here we know that it's wanting us to turn 180 degrees clockwise. Okay, the clock goes this way. Okay, and so let me go on and get those triangles out again. Okay, let's say I had this triangle and I were going to rotate it. Get this piece behind it so you can see. If I was going to rotate it 180 degrees clockwise, I'm going this way, okay? So one 90-degree turn would just be one movement all the way over. That's 90 degrees. Then 90 more degrees, which would equal 180, would be one more 90-degree turn. So our triangle should look like this in this quadrant, because when we start here and we turn it 90 degrees around this origin, it always has to be in a different quadrant. Okay? And this B is the one that we're always working with. So I'm going to put onto my triangle right here that you see, I'm going to put B right here. Okay? Because this is my B. And every time I make a 90-degree turn, it has to switch quadrants around the center of origin. So this would go here, but we don't want to just go 90 degrees, we want to go 180 degrees. So it's actually going to be down here, and there's my B again still, okay? It's just upside down. So we went from this spot 90 degrees, but it has to be in a different quadrant, and 90 more degrees, which makes 180, and it has to be in a different quadrant all around the center of origin. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so let's go on and do that, because it switches quadrants with each 90-degree turn. Okay, every time. And if I turned it another 90 degrees, then it would be here, right there with B. And then another 90 degrees would start us right back where we were at 360. So we're just taking this and turning it all the way around, and every time you turn it 90 degrees, it switches quadrants. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So they're wanting us to turn this triangle 180 degrees clockwise. So let's do that. Okay? Here's my triangle. It always helps if you have an illustration with you. Okay? And I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. Okay? 90-degree turn, but it has to be in a different quadrant. Alright? Around our center of origin. Okay? We didn't want to just go 90, we want to go 180. So I'm going to go 90 more degrees, and it has to be in this quadrant around this center of origin. And B always, B's here, B's here, B is here, and B is here, no matter how many turns you make, whether it's 90 degrees, 180, 270, or 360. Okay? So this is my B prime. Alright? Now, The thing that I want you to do when you're looking at this is then to ask yourself, from B to C is how many spaces over? It is 1, 2. So we're going to go 2 units over on this. 1, 2. Okay? So I'm going to put C here. C prime. Alright? Then from B, how many units is from B to A? It is 1, 2, 3. So if I put this here and A is here, then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And put my A prime there. Alright? Then I'll just attach all of my letters, and then this triangle is rotated not 90 degrees but 180 degrees, and it goes in a different quadrant every single time. So this would be A prime, B prime, C prime, and this is our triangle. Now it may help you to draw one of these and to actually put A, B, and C on it, so that when you rotate it 90 degrees, you know where to put it, okay, every time. So right now I have A, B, C, and I rotate it 90 degrees, then I rotate it 180 degrees, and I know that my C is supposed to be here and my A is supposed to be here. I just need to count how many units each time. Okay? And you can do that by going and looking at your B, and going from B to C is 2 units. So from B to C this way I need to go 2 units. And then when you look from B to A is 1, 2, 3 units. Okay? So it's 3 units to here. Okay? And so from B to A needs to be 3 units here. Okay? And then you would just mark it on there and go on and draw your triangle. So the question was for us to rotate it 180 degrees, and what would the quadrants, or I'm sorry, the coordinates be for A prime, B prime, and C prime? Well, let's figure that out. A prime would be what? It would be 1, 2, and down 1, 2, 3, 4. So we went over 2 and down 4. Okay? Let's do B prime. B prime. B prime would be 1, 2 over and down 1. So 2 over and down -1. And then C prime. Okay? What would it be? It would be 1, 2, 3, 4 over and 1 down. 4 over and -1 down. So the answer to this question, when we rotated this triangle 180 degrees clockwise, this would be our triangle A, B, C prime. Okay, and that's how you would label it. A prime, B prime, C prime, triangle ABC coordinates. Okay? Hopefully this all made sense and that you're able to do it from looking. Okay? And if you want to continue watching, I'm going to do one more of these rotating kind. I think it would be helpful for you to watch if you'd like to. And then I'll be done. Okay, so let me go in and set up this next one. R, okay, I'm going to go in and write down a new one on this sheet of paper. Okay, R is 1, 1. S is, oh, I'm sorry, P. Oh, we're doing P, Q, and R. Sorry about that. I start over. P is going to be 3, 4. Q is going to be 3, 3, and R is going to be 1, 1. Alright, so let's go and draw that one onto my axis. Alright, so I'm going to go 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 1, 2, 3, 4 for P. For Q, I'm going to go 3, 3. So 1, 2, 3, and up 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, I wrote that wrong. 3, 1. Sorry about that. 1. Okay, so let me do that one. 1, 2, 3, 1. Up 1. And that would be Q. And then R would be 1, 1. So 1, 1. R. Okay, go on and connect those. There's my triangle PQR. Alright, now they're wanting us to rotate this counterclockwise, which means the opposite of the clock, and they're wanting us just to rotate it 90 degrees. Now, if I take this, and it's always good to have a illustration, I'm going to put R here, P here, and Q here. It makes it so much easier to do this, okay? Now, which one, with the very first step in this, if you remember, is for us to see which letter we will be rotating. Which one is closest to the center of origin? R is. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up our center of origin. It is from 0, 0, it is 1, 1. So all the way around, we're going to go 1, 1, 1, 1, negative 1, negative 1, and 1, negative 1. Okay, so this is our center of origin right there. So as we rotate it, R will always be here, no matter where we rotate it. Alright, so we take R, P, Q, and R, and they want us to rotate it 90 degrees, which would just be one turn, to the left, which is clockwise. Okay, so I'm going to rotate it, and as you can see, this would be R, Q is going to be up here, and P is going to be over here. Okay, so from R to Q, how far do I have to go? I have to go 1, 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2. So I'm going to put Q here. Alright, and then from R, okay, from Q to P is how many? 1, 2, 3. So from Q to P, it's going to be 3. And I'm going to the left across like this. So 1, 2, 3. That is going to be my P. Then I'm going to connect all my dots. That is R prime, Q prime, and P prime. Okay, so P, Q, R rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise is going to look like this. Alright, it's all around the center of origin. It has switched over the quadrant like you're supposed to with each 90-degree turn. And that is lesson 80. Thank you.